We are going to continue our fight against this judge. We think he's totally conflicted. He's a conflicted judge. As you know, we're in appeal. I don't think there has ever been a judge more conflicted than this one, so we'll see how that all works out. So we think we have a very conflicted, highly conflicted judge. He shouldn't be on the case, and he's rushing this trial, and he's doing as much as he can for the Democrats. This is a Biden-inspired witch hunt.
Yeah, I get that, but is he conflicted? I couldn't quite tell from your speech. Everything that Donald Trump said there was, of course, untrue, or at least unverified. He keeps saying that the judge in the hush money trial is conflicted. Would you like to provide some evidence of that? How exactly is he conflicted? Now, I understand maybe I'm asking you to do something, not providing like an example or whatever. Okay, so let's say if you were on the Supreme Court and you were weighing like something having to do with January 6th, and let's say that your wife was actually a co-conspirator to the attempt to overthrow the results of the election. I would say that that makes you conflicted. There's an example. Could you provide something like that for the judge in your trial, Trump? I don't think that you can. He tries to link it once again to Joe Biden. It has absolutely nothing to do with Joe Biden. Nothing whatsoever to do with Joe Biden at all. We're just supposed to believe that something conflicted, something conflicted. I guess he's innocent. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. Well, maybe he's conflicted. One thing he's definitely conflicted about, this judge, is to what extent is he allowed to hold Donald Trump responsible for the stuff he does during the trial to attempt to subvert the outcome of it? And we've seen some willingness to dabble with that. Yesterday, he apparently scolded Trump for Trump's attempts to subtly intimidate jurors. He says, "I will not tolerate that." And he pointed out that Trump was gesturing and muttering something while a juror was answering questions. He was audible. He was speaking in the direction of the juror. "I will not tolerate that. I will not have any jurors intimidated in this courtroom. I want to make that crystal clear." The lawyer apparently whispered into Trump's ear and then says, "My client is aware." Okay, your client might be aware, but is your client a big boy who can sit there and shut up for a little while? That I sort of doubt. He's doing exactly what he did with E. Jean Carroll. He's there because he has to be, but also he's there because he wants to mutter and he wants to squirm and he wants to glare and he wants to try to influence the outcome. And by the way, they have already changed the way this is done to try to stop that from happening. So normally the questioning of the jurors would happen in what's called the robing room. It's a smaller room, it's tighter, more intimate. You put the lawyers in there, Donald Trump's in there, the judge is in there, and it's kind of tight quarters. And the judge already said that he thought that that would be overly intimidating to the jurors. So that's why they're doing it in the full courtroom. But despite the fact that they've already tried to avoid this outcome, Donald Trump is trying to influence it, trying perhaps to, like make it so that it seems like some of these jurors might be biased against him because he's intimidating them, maybe trying to go for a mistrial. I don't know what the overall theory or the goal is, but I do know that he's doing exactly what we thought that he would. And Sharon, I want to get you in here. We're sort of in the middle of this jury selection process. What are you making of everything you're seeing?
Probably all options are on the table. I mean, you listed what is his motivation, what is he trying to do? I think he should do anything that sticks. He'll try anything and everything. And I don't want to overreact. And perhaps the judge was just laying down the law. He could have just been speaking to one of the female jurors and said, "Hey, you want to join me in the dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman?" Who knows what he was saying or mumbling, but for sure it was trying to intimidate. Okay, that's exactly what he was trying to do. So I don't know. I was surprised when they said 7 were seated. I knew about the Wednesday thing, and that too kind of made me sad. This isn't, we want that extra stuff, but we'll see how it plays out. I think this thing could get rolling, and then we'll see. Maybe he'll fake an illness. Who knows?
Well, look, it's funny that you mentioned that, again, the Wednesday thing, because Trump, in addition to the many other things that he said that were untrue in that little statement, he said that he's trying to rush this thing. And by the way, I've always heard that people have a right to a speedy trial, so I thought that that was part of it, but no, it's not being rushed at all. No, he's giving all these dispensations for delays and not doing it on Wednesdays, and we're gonna have some days for different holidays, and he might even be able to go to Barron's graduation, which he definitely would have if it wasn't just a way to get out of court. He definitely would have showed up anyway. But regardless, we're just in the early days of this, still trying to fill out the jury. Apparently 7 have been chosen as of the end of yesterday, 4 men, 3 women. Tomorrow, the jury selection will continue. And the 12 jurors and 6 alternates that they ultimately will have to choose are gonna hear about 4 weeks of testimony over the allegations that Trump falsified the business documents to cover up those hush money payments. And so we don't know who all the jurors are. Hopefully their identities will be well protected, but we know there are many, many people, and I'm not just talking about like Donald Trump in the courtroom. There are many Trump supporters that all they want is to find the information of these people, leak the information, try to derail the process in whatever way possible. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.